What's going on, people? Welcome to Raw Boxing TV. Today, it's a beautiful Sunday morning over here in the country, Kentucky. Let's go ahead and talk about these fights that occurred last night. Nonito Donaire versus Darchinyan, and Mikey Garcias versus Rocky Martinez. Let me take these glasses off. I'm going to go ahead and start with Nonito Donaire versus Darchinyan. When I did my prediction in this video, I'm sure a lot of you expected the outcome of the fight to come a lot sooner. But that wasn't even the problem here, the fact that it took as long, because what matters is that the knockout came. And I gotta give props to Nonito, because a good fighter knows how to dig and overcome the obstacle. And that's what he did last night. He was in trouble and he found a way out. 100% credit on my side from me to him. But you know what? Sometime in your life comes somebody, passes through your life, and he leaves sort of like a curse. I think Guillermo Rigondeaux has been a curse for Nonito Donaire. I absolutely do. Last night, Darchinyan, all he had to do was be just a little more patient. And just to get this out the way, I had Nonito losing at the time of the stoppage. I had him losing by 1 point. Obviously, that's not counting the 10-8 round because he hadn't ended. But at the time, in that round, I had him losing down by 1 point, the fight. But the only thing Darchinyan had to do last night was be just a little more patient and be the counterpunching the counterpuncher. This brings back old memory from my old channel. When I uploaded a video of Nonito Donaire versus Narvaez, which last night Max Kellerman had the audacity of saying that Nonito schooled Narvaez when I showed you how Nonito really lost to Narvaez. But this brings back memories of that video when I was doing that video. When I was showing you guys with image, not with words, because you guys will believe the video a lot more. I mean, the actual footage of the fight a lot more than you believe me. I'm sure I would do the same thing. But it brings me back memory how Nonito was just eating shots all night long. Obviously, most of the people weren't focused on those shots because their focus was on what Nonito was doing, not what Narvaez was doing. But on top of that, Narvaez's shots weren't strong enough, so you couldn't really tell them, but they were there. When I told y'all Nonito had zero defense, and you guys think that just because he can do that, that's whoa, the dude has some mad defense skills, you know what I mean? But it ain't. Vic was counting Nonito all night long, all night long. He was putting a beating on Nonito, literally. You seen Nonito's face. You heard Nonito even say, "I thought he broke my cheek." Hey, again, he found a way out and he won. Interesting that he wants Rigondeaux. Does he really want Rigondeaux? Or is he just using that name to make himself feel good in front of the public? Because after all, when you want something, you go after it. You don't make Ed come after you. Especially when Ed beat you. Meaning that if I beat you at 122 and you're at 126 and you want a rematch, you have to come get me at 122, especially when I'm the king at 122 and I hold the belts at 122. It doesn't mean I let go of my belts, move up and wait to chase you. I don't have to chase you. I've already embarrassed you, took your belts, took your undefeated streak away. Now you have to come after me and try to reclaim that back. Does he really want Rigondeaux? Or is he just making himself look good in front of the public? Not because Rigondeaux has more name than Nonito. I would be dumb to say that. But because it's the psychological fact that that's the guy that beat me. That's the guy I need to ask for, even if the fight doesn't happen. Just to keep the fans happy for tonight. Does he really want Rigondeaux is the question. Will he go down to 122? And don't come with the nonsense of telling me he can't make 122. Nonito made 122 so easy last time. Excuses. Aren't you guys tired of excuses? Especially from this guy. I want to see him at 122. Or even if they can meet at a catchweight. I don't really like catchweight, but just to please Nonito, I wouldn't mind seeing a catchweight. Midway, half the middle. You know? I mean, don't make the same mistake as some fool did out there on YouTube to bet 10 grand on Nonito. If the rematch does happen, go on and put those 10 grand on Guillermo Rigondeaux and make some of that money back. Because same thing's going to happen. Last night we just seen a Nonito that was saved by his power and his ability to dig against a fighter that is not defensive minded at all, and a fighter that abandoned his fight plan, and a fighter that got careless. However, if you put Rigondeaux in front of him, Rigondeaux will still counterpunch him all night long. Rigondeaux will not abandon his fight plan. Rigondeaux will not get careless, and Rigondeaux has amazing defensive and offensive skills. And not to mention, Rigondeaux's not flat-footed. Same outcome. There was a rematch. Please do yourself a favor. Don't put your hopes on Nonito Donaire. Put your heart in him. If you're a Filipino or a hardcore fan, put your heart in him. But if you're betting money in between your friends right there in the living room, your money should be on Guillermo Rigondeaux. Let's move on to the other fight of the night. Mikey Garcias versus Rocky Martinez. Excellent fight. I liked the fight. Mikey Garcia looked extremely good last night. Yes, he was down. It don't really matter. What fighter doesn't go down? You know? Name me a fighter. Well, I shouldn't say that. There is fighters that had never touched the canvas as a pro. They have done it as amateurs, but obviously we're not counting the amateurs, right? But let me rephrase this. Name me a fighter that in their whole lifetime, from amateurs to the minute they retired as a pro, name me one that never touched the canvas. I guarantee you, you might only find one, maybe two. So it doesn't matter if Mikey touched the canvas. He knocked out Martinez. Now, I'm not surprised at the outcome. No, I'm not. This was bound to happen. You know, you remember my video. Martinez put up a good fight. Caught Mikey. Mikey was able to just brush that, come back, destroy him with the jab. Starting to work right off the jab. And since Martinez doesn't have lots of upper body movement, then it was easier for Garcia to just pummel him with the jab, work off the jab, start everything behind the jab. The jab is the key to open the door for things, guys, inside that ring. I don't know how many times a bunch of YouTubers have to say that. That jab is essential. You can win fights right off of the jab. And Mikey Garcia last night proved that he's really at 130 right now. He should never, ever try to go down to 126 for nothing. For nothing. He asked, well, he didn't ask. They kind of shoved Gamboa in his face. If there was ever the time to fight Gamboa, this is the time. Gamboa, I still Right now, I think Mikey is better than Gamboa. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Not skill-wise. Gamboa still possesses a lot more skills than Mikey. Gamboa has a lot more speed than Mikey at 130. More upper body movement. More leg movement. Gamboa has power as well. He has a chin. Oh, well, he's been down. Well, so has Mikey been down twice in his career. He's been down but never out. And that's what counts. But the reason I say Mikey's better than Gamboa, I mean when it comes to the conditioning factor. Mikey's been very active. Gamboa has not. Because Gamboa thinks he's 50 Cent. Or Gamboa thinks he's gotten famous just for hanging out with 50 Cent. And the only thing Gamboa is a housekeeper for 50 Cent. Until he puts his foot on the earth and realizes that he ain't going to be nobody unless he fights. Then you won't see him back in the ring. And don't be surprised if he comes back and loses a fight for being careless in his career. So he's so focused on his Instagram. He's so in love with himself that all he does is take pictures of himself without even focusing on his fight. Now, I don't know what the business aspect is. I don't know if it's something because of business. So if it is, please forgive me. But as a fan, I can only say what I see from out here. And right now, I don't see you very interested in your career. If there was ever a fight between Gamboa and Mikey Garcia, I'm still sticking with Gamboa, but Garcia has a shot. Subscribe, drop your comments. I'm out.